And I'm betting they're going to print. I mean, if they don't print, we're screwed anyway. So that's kind of my philosophy. It's not a very sophisticated philosophy, but I'd rather have Bitcoin than dollars right now. That's all I'm saying.
So I want to talk about what's going on with Ethereum, though, because I think this is pretty crazy. So just another summary for everyone else. Ethereum took that decentralized ledger idea. They added a programmable logic on top of that, so people can actually develop code on blockchain. So what you have is like decentralized code, as well as currency, and people use the first use case is always currency, because that's like the most you can like take financial applications and put value on it and then transfer it over the chain. But Ethereum in 2018 came up with the ICO concept. You can mint new tokens on top of Ethereum, and that became a huge fundraising vehicle in 2018, which ultimately resulted in a big bubble pop because there was not much utility. There was actually not much adoption coming from that. 2020 though has changed everything. By the way, just to give a reference, Ethereum is up 700% since last year, and Bitcoin is up 300% since last year. So that's just kind of reference of what's going on with the kind of divergence of Bitcoin and Ethereum. But by the way, Bitcoin and Ethereum always very tightly coupled. Right now, though. Sorry, you're going to say something?
No. When people say, "What are you doing?" I say, "Well, just buy it all." I have gold, silver, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Like I said, I'm just betting against my government. That's all I'm doing. The stupidity of them.
So if you want to bet against the government, it's Bitcoin. If you want to invest in the technology, it is Ethereum. But there are a lot of projects within Ethereum that I think are very, very promising as well.
So Ethereum has some use to it. That's what you're saying.
Yes. There was a lot of ideas, a lot of technology, scaling. All those ideas came out in 2018 and 2019. The first thing that really got adopted was in 2020, and that was called the decentralized exchange. But a couple projects made use of a concept called automated market making. And basically what that means is you can deposit money in pools, and then people can trade out of those pools. So at any moment in time, I can just go on, use my wallet that has any number of tokens and swap it with other tokens. And there's always liquidity. And that concept in 2020 exploded. It got to the point where there's more volume on decentralized exchanges than centralized exchanges. So that was 2020 was like the year of DeFi, decentralized exchanges. 2021 is going to have a whole new a whole new set of services that we can talk about as well.
Jeez, I know you already lost me a long time ago. So anyway, so
like today you have to log in, right? You have to log into your E-Trade, Ameritrade to trade a stock, right?
Right.
That whole concept is going away now. With blockchain, you can represent stocks on blockchain and trade it without and you always have liquidity.
So are you saying, E-Trade, those guys are toast?
It's trending that way. Centralized exchange volume is starting to rival the decentralized exchange volume in the crypto space for now.
Wow. So going old school now, what happens to stocks then?
I think stocks will always exist because they have like fundamentals behind it. They have like actual equity and ownership behind it. What's happening in 2021 is a concept called synthetics. So real life assets are being represented on tokens, whether that's gold, whether that's the US dollar, or whether it's even like Apple or Tesla stock. That's all being represented on blockchain through different means of, and I don't want to get too complicated,
right.
But different means of like price feeds and staking and collateralization. So basically you can take all these assets, you make them secure, and then you make them tradable on decentralized exchanges. Right. And that means anybody with a wallet can trade these assets. And they can trade at any time. They don't have to log into anything. As long as they have the wallet, they can trade. And that's what's happening.
Yeah, it sounds like to me that's what brought down the real estate market, was a thing called derivatives. So they would take a mortgage and then they would chop it up and sell it to other people.
Yes.
And so they're now taking crypto and then making derivatives out of it, or they could do it with anything.
They can, yes.
You could put real estate in it, gold in it.
And again, this is again so crazy in 2021 because there is a derivatives market forming as well. You can do options trading. You can do Forex exchanges getting launched soon with INJ. Yeah, so there's a lot of different projects that are popping up. And these projects, by the way, are where all the yield is. So a lot of the synthetic projects are up about 500% just in the last 3 months alone, because people already invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum. They need other places to now put that money, right? And then one of those areas is the synthetics that we're talking about right now.
So what holds it all together then is blockchain.
Yep.
Because blockchain is the contract. Well, that's why I understand it.
Blockchain makes it not just secure, but like transparent, and then you can audit the code. You can see like everything is reasonable and not like suspicious because it's on blockchain.
Yeah. So the way I understand blockchain, which doesn't work in the old world of real estate, gold, silver, and all that, was you never knew what those guys were doing with it. You know, there was no transparency in the Fed or Wall Street. And so what blockchain does is it's a decentralized system, right? And everybody's a part of it. It's not like the Fed is in charge of it.
Exactly.
Is that kind of it?
And before, people just weren't using it, right? You could say it's decentralized, but it's slower. And, you know, it's hard to, I have to like put up some new infrastructure to get it working. That was a problem in 2017 to 2019.
Yeah, but that will be solved because you guys will speed it up fast as you can. Yeah,
so the speeding issue is being solved right now. And I think the barriers of entry are being eliminated as well, too.
Yeah, because you guys don't have government regulation.
Well, I would say it's more like the software has made it much more intuitive to use. Much more intuitive to start things up.
If I was to go and try and change the system of Wall Street, let's say, there'd be a lot of guys who would be upset.
Yeah.
Because they're making too much money the way it is. Why are you going to come in here? And so you'd have to go to Congress and the Senate and make all these changes. You guys are making these changes on the fly, just because I think you guys trust blockchain. You don't trust human beings.
Actually, I never thought of that. I think it's almost impossible to pick winners that will be the same winners in 3 years from now, because blockchain moves so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's only the speed of your thoughts right now.
Yeah. If someone deploys a contract that looks great and everybody jumps over and uses that instead, you might have there's no one safe really in blockchain. Like you might have a project that looks great today, and then another one comes out that's better. Then everybody starts using that one instead. It's kind of like the App Store, right? Like the Apple App Store or Android App Store, and everybody can just deploy the apps whenever they want. But right now is actually financial value tied to these apps, and it's crazy because they're all representative of real life financial services, and they're all being represented on the blockchain.
Kind of reminds me of the old days, you know, when I was in the disco running around time. There'd be this one disco open up or this nightclub, you know, and everybody be there. Then about 2 months later, some other guy had opened another one. Everybody was over there. Another guy went broke. That's kind of what it reminds me of right now. And that's why it's important that people listen to this Rich Dad radio program so you can have a concept of how fast this is moving. So we'll be right back, Jeff. Thank you.